So we're just going to use our breath to bring us into the present moment. So let's get a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and straight, and not rigid. Tilting your chin towards your heart. Placing your hands in your lap, palms up or palms down, whatever is comfortable for you. Close your eyes and start to settle into your breath. And just notice the depth and the speed of your breath. And like I do before every practice, restorative or yin, I like to bring prana, healing energy, to somewhere, mental or physical, on our bodies and in our minds. We'd like to receive that healing. So we're going to bring our hands in front of our heart. If you've done my restorative, you're familiar with this. So just rub your hands together in front of your heart, keeping the fingers closed. If you need to peek just to see what I'm doing, just do that. So create heat between the palms of your hands. Lots of healing energy between the palms or in the palms of your hands. We're going to rub quite vigorously. Let us separate our hands about 6 to 8 inches apart with our fingers closed, bringing your hands in and out without touching them. You may feel that energy, you may feel the magnetic pull or heat, you may feel nothing, but know that that energy is there, healing energy. So bring your hands on a place on your body, mental or physical, that you would like this healing energy to go to. You can hover over or place your hands lightly on that area. And if you can't think of an area, bring your hands to your heart center for love and compassion for yourself. And start to breathe into this space, knowing that the breath makes the cells vibrate and heal. Imagine a beautiful white light filling this area, wiping away any sickness or pain or anxiety or anger or sadness. And instead filling that area with this pure light, healing, love, compassion, gratitude. And let us bring our hands back down in prayer in front of our hearts. And let us join with the universal sound of Om that connects us all. Om. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, so if you've done yin before, you know it's best to do on a cool body before working out, doing any yang type practice, whether that be working out with weights or a yang type flow, or even walking when the stresses of the day. So it's really nice to do in the morning before all that happens. And after the practice, it's nice to wait a few hours before you do an active yang practice, that being what I just mentioned. So we're going to start with Sphinx. So I'm going to lay face down on your mat. Now, I don't know your level in yoga, but we'll start with placing our elbows pretty much underneath our shoulders, unless that's not comfortable for you. Placing our forearms about parallel, about the same distance that the shoulders are. And we're going to sink into Sphinx and just come to your first edge. And I like to talk about the edge being, if it was a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most you're going to feel that tension or that pull, and 1 being hardly anything or nothing. I like to be between a 2 and a low 5. And we're going to hold this pose for about 3 minutes, which is actually a pretty relatively short amount of time in yin, especially if you've done it before. But we're going to hold for about 3 minutes. And the target, we call them the target areas. You may feel this in your lower back, which is absolutely fine. Even if you had some osteoporosis or slip disc, this pose is actually fine for that. So we're going to go into, find that edge, that first edge, about 1.5 minutes into it. I'll ask you if you would like to go deeper, if you feel like you can go deeper, or maybe perhaps you might have to back off a little bit. So we go to the edge, we find relative stillness, and then we stay for time. So I'm going to come up out of this. If this is very light for you and you're familiar with yin, you can go up into the feel, bringing your hands out, the edge of the mat, shoulders back and down. You can lift your head if that feels comfortable for you. If you have your props, you can use your props. So I'm coming out so I can keep track of the time. So I like to do the Goldilocks rule too, not too much and not too little, just right for that tension. And also, I say relatively still because you know, if it's too much, you want to back off. If it's too little, you want to add a little bit more. But the point in Yin Yoga is the time to stay in the shape or pose or sana. So that's when the juices get flowing, the energy gets flowing, and that is when this does its work, the chi, the energy. So we're stressing, quote unquote, that target area, which again, it could be the front of the body, could be your back, could be your lower back. But as long as you're feeling it somewhere and you're not feeling pain, you're doing it right. So we never want pain. If you're feeling any pain, you're going to honor your body and you're going to back off. Okay. Feel any tingling or anything like that, shooting little tingling pain, that's not good either. So we're always honoring our body. So at this point, if you can go a little deeper, you can do that. If you need to back off, you can do that. Again, we don't want to move around too much. We want to keep that stillness. So we are, quote unquote, stressing the joint or the target area. This is good stress. So we want both yin and yang. So we do want to move our body and do our workout and exercise and work our muscles. But we also need this part, which is the yin. So as we get older, we're flexible. We can still move without any problems. Lessen any pain as we get older in our joints and our tissues. We have about 30 seconds left here. Okay, so from Sphinx, come out very slowly. So if you've done yin before, you might know about the rebound. So we talk about our energy, the chi. There's meridians in our body. Think of them as channels of water. So we want to make the chi or the energy flow freely in our body. So after each pose, we're creating tension. So in the rebound, we want to let that tension let go and let the chi flow. So with this rebound, usually I lay on my back and I just open up my arms like we're in Savasana. But for Sphinx, just go into a child's pose and take a few breaths here. And make that connection where you want that energy to flow to. So your mind is very powerful. So during the practice, I want you to send light and energy to wherever your pain is, or wherever you want that energy to flow to. Imagine it healing, imagine that light. It's very, very powerful. So I'm not sticking needles in you, but it's sort of like acupuncture. We're doing acupressure and bringing our attention to where we want the energy to flow. That's very powerful too, all connected. Okay, so take a few breaths in child's pose. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into child pose, then into melting heart. So child pose is you're going to bring your big toes together, separate your legs. You can go about the width of the mat. Now everybody's shaped different, so if this doesn't work for you, you can bring your legs closer together, separate your legs, just go by where you feel that you're creating some kind of tension. Okay, so we're going to bring our arms forward just like we did in rebound. But this time I want you to really focus on stretching out those arms and trying to leave your buttocks as close to the heel as you can. And you can relax your head down. So as you're stretching your arms out in front of you, you may be creating tension underneath your arms, in your shoulders, in your hips, in your back. Again, on that scale from 1 to 10, if you're feeling it anywhere from a 2 to a low 5, that's fine. As long as you're feeling it somewhere. This is not a yang type practice, so we're not going full depth into a stretch. Okay, so that's why it's nice to do in the morning. So in the morning we're kind of creaky. So we go to that first edge where you're feeling it. All right, you have to really be in tune with your body. So if you happen to have your props and you are more advanced in Yin, you can actually put something up in front of your hands. Bring your hands on there and sink into the pose. By elevating your hands, you'll create more tension in those areas I mentioned, your shoulders, your arms, your back. Everybody's different. You may feel it a little bit differently. And again, as long as you're feeling it somewhere. And you can go lower or higher with the props with pillows or blankets. I'm going to come out. And again, come to your edge. Create relative stillness. And we stay for time. And you can also go by how you are breathing. So we don't want to be breathing heavily in Yin. We actually want to have a relaxed, normal type breath. So if you are breathing, Ujjayi breathing, although you can breathe smoothly in Ujjayi, and that's not really, if you are experienced in Yin, that might be the breath that you will take. But for the less experienced, if you are holding on to your breath, you're struggling with your breath, you're working too hard. So again, come to that Goldilocks principle. Not too much, not too little. That's right. But you want to be feeling it somewhere. So as we're holding, we're lubricating the joints, we're releasing the fascia, which is that net all around the body. You ever hear the issues in the tissues? That's definitely true. We lock our issues in our tissues, so we are releasing that, mental and physical, during this practice. A lot of introspection in this practice, and restorative. I don't tend to play music. I like to really have the student get in touch with how the body is feeling, the sensations in your body, how you're breathing. Think of it as a beautiful 1-hour meditation. You don't have to sit and do quote unquote nothing. You also want to try to relax the muscles. We're not trying to do anything with the muscles, although sometimes the muscles have to come into play. But think about relaxing them as much as we can. In yang practices, we do work the muscles. In this practice, we are working the joints and the tissue, connective tissue, bones. Okay, take a few more breaths here. Okay, so from child's pose, I want you to actually do the rebound. I want you to gently, gently just turn on your back. If you need any kind of counter stretch, then do that, whatever feels good for you. When you get to your back, it might feel good to bring your knees to your chest and just do a few little leg circles just to massage out your back a little bit. And then when you're ready, let's take the rebound. So we're just gonna let your legs fall and your arms fall like in Savasana. And we close our eyes. And again, notice how your body is feeling. If you can really connect to the sensations in your body, which a lot of us don't do out there in the real world. Okay, so imagine the chi or the energy being released. The meridians are free and flowing like water with no blockages. The fascia is releasing, taking a breath of release. Close your eyes. Notice how you get up from each rebound and from each pose. You want to come up in a yin type fashion, not yang. We're not popping up. We like to roll to a side, either side. Take a few breaths if you need to. Use the bottom as a pillow. And then make your way up. And then we're going to go into dragon. So if you have your props, take your blocks, put them on either side of your mat. Let's start on all fours. And we're going to bring our left leg in between the blocks. Now, I don't know if anybody else has joined us, but you can use books here. You can use pillows, Tupperware, something to prop your hands up. So if you have your block, you can go in the low, the medium, high setting. I'm actually going to use the high setting. I'm very flexible, but like it's in the morning, and this isn't about going to your full max again. So I try to come to my first edge. Your knee is not going over your front toe. Your knee is not coming over your toe. And you have some space in between your legs here. If your knee is giving you any problems or issues, you can put a pillow under your knee or under your shin. Take some pressure off, or a blanket off your knee if you need to. So again, you may have to bring your knee in closer, or if you have the flexibility, you want to bring it out more, you can. If you're more advanced, you can bring your hands down to the floor. We're just doing baby dragon today. So this is a pose we're going to get into. I'm going to stay here. Now, the target areas can vary for people. If you're feeling some pinching or anywhere in your hips, you can move your foot in the front to the edge of the mat a little bit. That may help. I'm going to bring mine back in the middle. Target areas can be in the inner thigh in the front, the quad, the front of the leg in the back, the hip flexor in the back. Some people feel it in the hip. Again, as long as you're feeling it somewhere and you're not feeling pain, you're doing it right. Okay? So again, somewhere on the scale of a 2 to a low 5 with tension and that stretch, and we stay relatively still. We're going to stay on each side for about 3 minutes. Notice your breath. So I picked these poses to counteract the effects of sitting too much, which actually probably a lot of us are doing just because we're all working from home, sitting at our computer. So as you are in this dragon, you may want to open up your heart a little bit, your chest. To counteract the effects of hunching over your computer. Notice your breath. Bring your breath to a place in your body where you'd like that chi or that energy to flow to. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw or your face. Let that go. Okay, gently come out of dragon on that side. And then the counter pose would be our child's pose. I would like you to go into a child's pose. Release the back, the hips, and take a few breaths here. And let the chi flow. I like to think of it as breathing a sigh of relief. Ah, the chi can flow now. Come on up in a yin type fashion. Again, not popping up. Think about how you're moving. Bringing everything down in this practice. Finding refuge from all the craziness out there. Okay, so we go into all fours, bringing your right leg forward. We're going to go into dragon on the right side. Again, place your blocks or whatever props you have next to your foot. Find space in between your legs, making sure your knee is not coming over the front toe. And do whatever version feels good for you. You can also bring your body up and bring your hands above your knees if you'd like. And notice where you're feeling the tension in any of those target areas. I hate to say just the target areas. Like I said, everybody feels things differently, but the main quote unquote target areas, again, Could be the inner thigh and the front leg, the hip. In the back leg, be the top of the thigh, the quad, the hip flexor, hip. I'm going to come out, and you guys are going to hold. Again, notice if you are struggling with your breath at all. Try to breathe normally. It's not shallow. So if you are familiar with yoga, it's nice to bring that breath into the belly. You use the full capacity of your lungs. That activates the parasympathetic nervous system, so calming down. And use the scale. If you're feeling it from a 2 to a low 5. And at this point, if you want to sink a little deeper, lower your box, you can do that. Or back off if you have to. And take a few more breaths. And again, come into that rebound. We'll do the rebound with the child pose. Bring your leg back, leg toes together, and come into your child's pose. And just have that introspection. Notice if you're feeling any different. This isn't restorative. We're not relying on props in the earth. We're actually doing work. We're stressing the body. But then once we stress it, the rebound, we breathe a sigh of relief. And then just imagine that chi flowing through the body, being able to move more freely, healing the body. Bring your breath to where you want that chi to go to, and your attention, and sink into child's pose. And again, come up in a yin type fashion. Now in the back, come on up. Sitting up. We're going to go into banana. So we're going to come to our right side of the mat, our whole body. Right side of the mat. And we're going to inch just our feet We're going to be shaped like a banana, okay? So we're going to bring our feet over to the left side of the mat, inch our feet over to the left side, just our feet, while keeping our torso to the right. And then you're going to take your arms, bring your arms up overhead. You're going to inch your arms and your head over to the left of the mat while keeping your torso to the right. So you're shaped like a banana, okay? So if you need props underneath your arms, you can use props. Head, pillow under your head, you can do that. You can bring your arms down if this is too much and just inch your head over. Okay, so you want to feel the stress, quote unquote stress, on the right side of the body, the whole right side of the torso. If you have your arms up overhead, then bringing your head and your arms to the left side of the mat. You'll feel it, you may feel it in the side part of your arms, your shoulder. You can cross your arms up above your head. Bring your arms up on a prop if you'd like. If you're not used to this pose, you might feel it right away on the right side of the torso. So your feet go to the left side of the mat and your arms and your head go to the left side of the mat while keeping the torso to the right. So you feel that. So you're shaped like a banana and you feel that stress or tension in the right. You could feel it in the whole right side of the body. Now, if you'd like to cross your right foot over the left, you may feel it even more. If that works with you. You're able to do that. So you can cross your right foot over the left. And I'm going to come up. You guys stay there. And again, come to your edge. Find relative stillness. And we stay for time. Notice your breath. Try to breathe normally. Using the full capacity of your lungs if you can. Try not to breathe shallow. Breathing shallow actually activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight. Always on guard. So although this practice is a very active practice, you're still activating that parasympathetic nervous system, bringing the nervous system down. So at this point, if you can move a little further, or if you need to back off, you can do that. Again, 2 to a low 5. Feel that opening on the right side of your body. Again, as long as you're feeling it somewhere and there's no pain, you're good. You want to be feeling something. If you're not, you may be at a maintenance stage, which is fine too, because we have to keep up on this, just like everything else. We wouldn't stop exercise, yang type fashion of exercise. So practice, just like brushing your teeth. Like just need to keep doing it. Keep your body flexible as we age, healthy, joints healthy, releasing fascia, because if we stop stretching, our fascia bounds up. We're back to square one. Take a few more breaths here. Okay, again, gently come to the center of the mat, bringing yourself to the center. And just for an in-between little stretch, just bring your knees to your chest. Hug your knees in. If you'd like to do little circles, do that. Each way, hugging your knees. Notice how you feel on that side. Bringing your breath to where you want that energy to flow. We're going to make our way to the left side of the mat. Your whole body. Inch your feet over to the right, just your feet and your legs, while keeping your torso to the left. And then if you can raise your arms up overhead, you're going to bring your arms and your head over to the right, creating that banana, and do whatever modification fits your pose. And opening up on that whole left side of the body, creating that banana. Become still. And if you'd like to cross your left leg over the right, you can do that. Might feel it a little bit more on the left side of the body. I'm going to come up and keep time for you. Target area, be the whole left side of the body, anywhere on the left side of the body. And if you're feeling it in the right, that's fine too, as long as you are not experiencing any pain. Again, always honoring your body. Back off if there's any pain. In case I forget, remember that after the practice, it's always good to stay away from any active exercise just for a couple hours, as we have stretched the joints, and that could be a little bit dangerous. And also drink plenty of water. And although we are lubricating your joints and tissues, it's not the kind of lubrication you get from drinking water, although it's very important to drink your water when you're done with the practice. It's actually from doing these stretches and staying in them. That's when everything gets lubricated. It gets activated. So we dry out as we get older. I don't know how old you are, but it doesn't matter. As the years go on, we dry out. This lubricates things, keeps things flowing and moving. I mean, I'm 55, I have 5 kids, 2 grandchildren. I have never, knock on wood, have experienced any problems, but this is a practice I try to keep up on, along with my yang practice, being a personal trainer. Very beastly in the gym, that I know that I need this just as much. So it's good to have both sides, yang and yin, balance each other out. And I love being able to move and play with my grandchildren. And so hopefully this will be a practice you keep up on. We're here for a few more breaths. Okay, now at this point, I'd like you to come and wiggle your way into the middle. If you need to bring your knees to your chest, do that. But I'd like to do about a minute rebound. Just come into a Savasana pose. Open up, close your eyes. Let the chi flow. Release and let things flow. Imagine everything flowing, no blockages. So I should have said it in the beginning, but hopefully you have a strap. This will be our last pose before Savasana. We'll do a hamstring stretch. If you don't have a strap, you can use a bathroom robe or a belt or a towel or anything you can grab and put this around your foot. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to get that. And if you have your prop, we're going to be on our back. You're going to put the strap or whatever you have around the middle of your foot. And you are going to pull to that first edge. Again, this is not a yang type practice. So if you're used to doing a yang type practice, some people fall right into this and go as far as they can. But you have to be very in tune with your body and feel with that first edge, with that feel of, oh, I feel that a little bit. And stay with that edge. Okay, so we'll be here for about 3 minutes, maybe a little longer with the hamstring stretch. To find that the hamstring gets very, very tight, especially now, like I said, people sitting and working on their computers, sometimes 8 hours a day, it's crazy. But so my left leg is bent. It doesn't have to be. You can extend that left leg and flex your left foot. You may feel a little more if you do that. That's not necessary either. You can bend it and bring it up. And you're going to pull and come to that first edge. And you can adjust your strap on your foot, on the ball of your foot, middle, lower, wherever it feels good for you. And again, once you find that edge, please stay there for that stillness. So we can really stress the tissue in the back of the thigh. I'm going to come out. Try to stay, unless you have to back off or increase the tension. Target areas in this shape is the back of the thigh, your calf, your foot, your hip. Again, maybe somewhere else. But we're all different. And again, as long as you're feeling it and there is no pain, you're good. That Goldilocks principle. Not too much, not too little, just right. This is actually a stretch nice to do every day, whether you're doing a yin practice or not. One of the best stretches for the back of the thigh. Again, where we hold a lot of our tension. Notice how you're breathing. Try to let any tension fall away from your face, your jaw. Let your tongue relax. Try to bring your shoulders down to the earth. Try to leave the muscle out of it as much as you can, stretching that tissue, stressing that tissue. Stress in a good way. And take a few more breaths on this side. And you're going to release that leg and just elongate it. Bring it back. Be in Savasana for about 30 seconds. Close your eyes. Notice if you feel any difference between the two sides. Then bring your left leg up. Wrap your strap or whatever you have around that foot. You can bend the right leg or not. Pull. And again, try to leave the muscle out of it and bring your shoulders down to the earth if you can. And come to your edge. You may feel it a little different on this side. You may feel the same. Each side of the body may feel a little bit different than the other. That's fine. Again, introspection. Notice what you're feeling. Are you at a 2 or a 5? 2 to a 5, low 5. How are you breathing? Put a descriptive word to how you're feeling, if you can. Cool, hot, frustrated, peaceful. Really get in touch with your body and your thoughts. We have about 1 minute and 15 seconds left, so at this point, if you can take it a little further or you have to back off, do that. Bring your breath to where you want that healing to go to. Take a few more breaths. And from here, we will be going into Savasana. We'll be in about 10 minutes for Savasana. I hope you are very comfortable. If you have to go to the bathroom or take care of anything, do that. We're going to relax and restore and revive in Savasana. So, if you've done yoga before, which I think you have, at the very least, put something underneath your legs, taking the pressure off the lower back. Hopefully Like I've said before, if you went to my class before, the lights are on because of the picture. But if you can turn off your lights, that would be great. Create the environment for Savasana. Put a pillow under your head. Hopefully you have an eye pillow, washcloth, something for your eyes. And put a blanket over you because your body temperature will go down in Savasana. I want you to be completely comfortable. So it would look like this. And a blanket and an eye pillow over your eyes. If this isn't comfortable for you, you could do side lying Savasana or even on your belly with your forearms, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay? So bring yourself there. Close your eyes. Allow yourself to melt into the mat, into the earth. Give yourself permission to let go and surrender. And then begin a body scan, starting with your feet, your toes, your ankles, your heels, your knees, your shins. Let them go. Feel them dissolve. Move your awareness down through the flesh, through the ligaments, the tendons, right into the bone, right down to the marrow. Feel them melt. Your knees, your thighs, and your hips. Let them go. The lower back, your spinal column, your rib cage and lungs. Let them go. Your hands, your arms, your shoulders. Let them melt. Your neck, your jaw, your face, the back of the skull, the crown of your head. Bring everything to surrender. Now visualize a column of warm golden sunlight penetrating the crown of your head. And as you breathe in, draw the light down through the crown, through the spine, and out the legs. And on the exhale, imagine a column of cool blue moonlight traveling up the legs, up the spine, and out the crown. Allow the moonlight to merge with the sunlight as you breathe, restoring the polarity in your body. Gently come back to your breath in your body. Start to move your head gently side to side. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Rotate your ankles and your wrists each way. Bring your arms up overhead. Stretch out your legs. Become 10 feet tall. Stretch your body out. And roll yourself to one side or the other. And stay in a little cocoon, using your bottom arm as a pillow. And take a few breaths here. And then eventually make your way to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands in front of your heart in prayer. And let us connect together with the universal sound of Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I wish you so much peace, peace, peace. Namaste. May you live like the lotus at home in the muddy river. Thank you for coming.